Hello everyone and welcome back to the Prime Coding channel. So today we'll talk about most asked interview question on MERN Stack. If you have project related to MERN Stack, rather than it would be a final year project where you have did your front end part or your team might be did back end part, or you have did back end or your team had been doing front end. All the questions that has been asked till now in MERN Stack questions would be discussed. With every question, I will also let you know the follow-up question that you should be prepared while creating a response about your project. Okay, so I'm Aditya Mishra and you're watching Prime Coding. Let's move to the very first question. What is the MERN Stack? Very basic and must-ask question. The MERN Stack is a JavaScript stack used for easier and faster deployment of full stack web application. The follow-up question would be how you can say that it is helpful in faster deployment. Make a note of all this so that when you are preparing the response over your questions, you should be aware of this particular answers. It compromises MongoDB, a NoSQL database, Express.js, a web application framework for Nodejs. Okay, so now React is a front-end JavaScript library and Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. The follow-up question would be why you are using React, why don't you are using Angular, and why you are using Node? Something questions like that. Similar to why you are using MongoDB. This type of question you can expect in your interview. There would be multiple answers. It's depend upon the project use case, the project domain, problem statements. According to that, we usually opt for a particular stack. So you should create your response according to star method, where you will necessarily tell about the situation. What was the situation when you are creating this particular project? How you have overcome that problem, that if something problem is there, and what were the tasks that you have got and action result. If you want to have a specific look over it, I have created video on discuss how you can create your response on projects. Let's say how to represent your project. The one video on that and another video on examples where I have covered machine learning. If you have a machine learning project, if you have a full stack project, or if you have an internship project with you. Okay, all the responses has been there, very concisely written. All the keywords and context has been written in particular template, so you can follow it. Why you choose the MERN Stack for your project? Okay, the MERN Stack allows developers to use single language JavaScript for both client side, server side. Okay, why I have used this keyword? Because the follow-up question would be difference between both of them. What is the difference between a client side and what is the difference between the server side as well as the development side? So it would be easier for debugging and more efficient team collaboration, as you can segment your project into multiple parts, such as few of the members are dealing with front end and few are dealing with back end. So it would be easy to collaborate, and you can have a repository where you can just club your code and just host it somewhere so that it looks good. Now, what is MongoDB and why it is used in MERN Stack? So the follow-up question would be, why don't you have used Cassandra? Why don't you have used DynamoDB? Okay, because I always tell this example. If you are a sportsman or you have played sports in your childhood, when you want to buy a bat or let's say a tennis racket, so you might compare in the sports shop. When you go and buy something, you usually compare with the other stuffs. So why you have specifically took this MERN Stack? Why you have took this Mongo? Why don't you have took Dynamo and Cassandra if it is there in a choosing list? So you should have a answer with you why the MongoDB helps in your project or what MongoDB impacted over your project. Just let them know the advantage of MongoDB over Cassandra and DynamoDB. Great. We'll see the definition. MongoDB is a NoSQL database that stores the data in JSON-like documents. Fair enough. JSON type documents. The follow-up question would be, what is the full form of JSON and what do you mean by document format? It used in MERN Stack because its flexibility, it is much flexible. Scalability, you can easily scale. You just need to have a plan and you can easily scale. And ease of integration with JavaScript and Node.js. You have when you are initializing a storage in MongoDB, you will get all your necessary things like keys, how to situate the connection, link, connection string, everything would be given by MongoDB so that your work would be easy when you want to connect MongoDB with your project. Explain the purpose of Mongoose. Many people in mock session also, they don't know about Mongoose and they have written MongoDB in their resume. So Mongoose is an object data modeling, ODM, and basically in React we have DOM. So you can expect a difference between DOM and ODM. Please write this follow-up question. Library for MongoDB and Node.js. It provides a schema-based solution to model your application data, making it easier to manage data and relationship validation and queries. Simple explanation. Each and every line I have used some keywords that you need to speak. So the line that I have made, make a circle over the word, that word should be used in your explanation thoroughly. Great. What is Express.js and why it is used in MERN Stack? So Express.js is a fast, unopinionated and minimalistic web framework for Node.js. Means Node is a server-side language, so Node need some server where you can write the server script. So the server need has been implemented using Express.js. You should go the more advantages of all these stuffs so that if the question has been asked in depth of your project, you should be able to answer those. So moving forward the rest, MERN Stack to create a robust, please guys, have a note what do you mean by robust. You have written robust, resilient, these types of keyword into a resume. You should be aware of what that means. API and handle HTTP request and response. As this is a server-side language, it definitely deals with HTTP requests and more GET POST types of requests. Moving forward with one more question that I want to add is, as I have written HTTP request, you can expect the questions on what type of HTTP request exists. List the type like GET, POST, method GET. There are many types of requests. You should just go through all of them. What is React and why it is used in MERN Stack? React is a front-end JavaScript library for building user interfaces, particularly single-page applications. It used in MERN Stack for its component-based architecture. Please focus on this component-based architecture, which allows for reusable and maintainable of UI component. That's it. That's why we are using React. This would be the definition of React, but you should follow up question would be how it is good or how it is better than Angular. So please, you should aware of this. What is the significant difference between React? What job that React do but Angular won't? So you should have a particular response over it. How do you manage state in a React application? How do you manage state in a React application? State in a React application can be managed using the use state hook for the functional component or this dot state and this dot set state for class component. For more complex state management, you might use library like Redux or Context API. Great. So what the keywords that you need to use when you manage the state in functional component, because it's basically a component based language, and this is a particular keyword that you need to tell in your response. Guys, please, when you are explaining something, you should have a context of your answer. Then if there are some examples exist, then do list those examples and give the proper definition, not a generic or a application based definition. Definition should be like a definition. Great. So now, and what do you mean by API? Do you think without API we can communicate between websites? These types of random questions can pop out in your interview, so you should be aware of it. What is Node.js and why it is used in MERN Stack? Node.js is a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome V8 JavaScript engine. So see how much keyword that I am using so that this response would be beneficial for you. It allows you to run JavaScript on the server side, enabling full stack development with a single language. See, Node is giving us a opportunity of writing your project, a full stack project very easily. Now, the follow-up question when you are talking about full stack project, then what is your opinion upon reactjs? Don't you think using React you can construct your front end as well as your backend? So you should be aware of the advantage of reactjs on MERN Stack, in MERN Stack, or reactjs. Okay, now how do you deploy your MERN Stack application? There are multiple ways to deploy, or it might be you have your own way of deploying any of your project. So how you can do that? Deploying a MERN Stack application typically involves deploying the front end React app to a static site hosting service. I took opportunity to host my front end over the Vercel and Netlify or Vercel. So whatever you have, you should have a thorough research over it. Why you have took Vercel? I took Vercel because it is easy to host your website, and it has more free versions. It can tackles a limit range of traffic if you have on your website now, and it is also very easier to connect your particular hosting service on your specific domain name server. If you have any website, you can just connect it very easily. A backend node service where the platform like Heroku, AWS, DigitalOcean, and there are many such as Rendered. I have used Render because it is free and you can use it as an extent. There are particular traffic that it can easily handle, and it's also free. Ensure your MongoDB is hosted on a cloud service like MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB Atlas is a paid version, but it is free for a limit. If you cross the limit, you need to pay. Okay, so given the particular and context-based definitions and examples, you should create a response or say this particular response correctly or similarly. It will show the impression and hook the interviewer interest. What are the advantage of using MongoDB and what is the disadvantage in your project if you use SQL? Okay, so this should be the follow-up question. MongoDB offers higher performance, high availability, and easy scalability. It stores data in flexible JSON-like format, making it easier to work with and integrate with other JavaScript-based technologies. Okay, so MongoDB offers a higher performance as is a NoSQL. It generally have higher performance as compared to the relational databases. And REST, easy scalability, stores data very flexible JSON-like format. This would be an basic examples or basic way, so you should be aware of when you are speaking about this question. What is a REST API and how do you implement it in your Express.js? A REST API is an architectural style for designing network-based application. In Express.js, you can implement REST API. Guys, again, the follow-up question would be, what do you mean by REST API? What is a full form of REST API? Is there any competitor of REST API? And why don't you have use REST API? Why don't you use any other API that is present on the net? So these types of questions, please make a note of it. I have not mentioned in this particular video so that you do some homework. If everything I will give you on your table and like a food spoon feeding, so then you will not learn. You will go through particular websites, you will get to know multiple responses. Then pick out those responses according to your projects, because all the explanation, it's depend upon your project, that what is a project is all about. All these databases, all these APIs depends upon the project category that you are building it. Okay. Can you explain the difference between SQL and NoSQL database? A very most asked question in interview. Why did you choose MongoDB for your project? SQL database are relational and use structured query language. So starting with an competitor which supports my incoming answer. So do you think this would definitely create an impact in your interview? I would say yes. Suitable for structured data with predefined schemas. NoSQL database like MongoDB are non-relational schemaless and handle unstructured data well. MongoDB was chosen for its flexibility, scalability, and ease of integration with JavaScript application. The specific definition I have given, see the beauty of it. Firstly, I have give a supportive response. Supportive response, which will support my incoming NoSQL, this particular paragraph, NoSQL definition. So it looks sense that before choosing any database or any particular domain, I have researched over it. It is a good trait of a software engineer. How do you handle authentication and authorization in MERN Stack? And difference between authentication, authorization in application. Authentication can be implemented using JSON Web Tokens (JWT) for stateless authentication or sessions for stateful authentication. Great. The keywords sessions and stateful authentication. Authorization involves checking user roles and permissions before allowing access to certain routes and action. So this you should use in your explanation because it is needed. Why you can use authentication and authorization? The keyword is specifically, I will tell this is routes that you should tell in your response. Middleware functions in Express.js can be used to enforce these checks. You basically need a middleware when you are creating a full stack project. So please, why are you using middleware? Do you think middleware is important? In which language you have created? What is a bridge and all you should be aware of? What is Redux? Most asked question. And when should you use it in reactjs or React application? Redux is a state management library for JavaScript applications. Fine. It is useful when have a complex application with a lot of shared state or state that needs to be accessed by many components. Focus on it. Have a complex application with a lot of shared state and states that to be accessed with many components. So this is a main line that you need to speak. Redux provide a predictable state container and helps for managing state and scalable maintainable way. Okay, created a very nice explanation for you guys. If you are confident with your explanation and whatever the thing you have written in your resume, I have a big thing for you. At the last, I will let you know that the resources that you should use it. Before going to resources, guys, please make a note of this particular question as this question has been asked multiple times. Or I will definitely ask a follow-up is, what do you mean by React hooks? And nowadays in digital interview of TCS and QT, they are asking what do you mean by props, render, and why you have used React. Why don't you have used Next or any other front-end framework? Great. Fair enough. Moving forward with the resources that you should be aware of. Blockchain. The trending technology question is hot question you can definitely expect in your interview. So I have till now uploaded blockchain. Project. How to explain your project mistakes and pro tips has been given here. Each and everything that you should be aware of so that your response would be context based, not contextless. If you are worrying about the responses, how to create in this, I have talked about ML, front-end full stack project based on MERN, and if you have internship, how you need to explain it. Most watch video because it contains all types patterns of SQL questions. You can expect the SQL question from this particular video, bet on my words. And the DBMS one-shot video that I have created, all the DBMS and SQL based question will definitely come from these video. Have believe on my words, study it, you itself feel the quality of that content. Okay, so 50 plus happy improved student that I and my team have made. Plans according to your needs. Whatever you have need, if you have HR problem, we have a plan for it. If you have a full problem or combo problem, we have everything. Gain confidence and expertise and experience. If you want to qualify for free mock, just comment over this video. Join the Telegram group. Follow our LinkedIn page. Follow our LinkedIn page of Prime Coding. The winner, we have started finding who is actually did all the work because we have good amount of Prime Coding community member who are brilliant mind in everything. So if you want to be a brilliant mind, Join our community filled with the brilliant minds. And we have made 50 plus happy candidates. If you want to see feedbacks in Telegram, you can find each and every feedback of a client or students who have took these sessions and they will get benefited in their interviews, because sessions contain in-depth feedback, where you are lagging, in which condition you should be, your strong zone, how to create your response, the resume review, everything would be there. For this, you just need to head over www.primecoding.in. Link would be in the description. You just need to head over this website and do the grateful for your career. Take one step ahead in your career. And all these links would be in the description. Head over the description and find all the links, follow the instruction, go to the www.primecoding.in and do your work. Great. We'll meet you with a new video soon. Share with your friends so that they also get benefited with our content. We are doing hard work just for you to secure a good placement. So why don't you are taking this opportunity and nail your particular interview? We'll meet you with a new video soon.